Welcome to the News Agenda for July 12th, 2021. It's Simplicity Day, which my recording equipment hasn't gotten the memo for. Just like and subscribe, because you're cool. Our top news story is Haiti. Haiti's president was assassinated on July 7th in his home. The home had also been ransacked. President Jovenel Moise was killed and his wife was injured by at least 24 soldiers, 13 of which have been confirmed to be retired Colombian military, and at least 2 were Americans. The hemisphere's poorest country has been suffering a spate of violence recently. Some conservatives say the assassination of the country's president demonstrated good in the economic diversity of the violence victims. Some are already saying that this is an attempt by the CIA to change the government in Haiti. Critics say that this is the worst way to change a government when you can just hack their election infrastructure, as we all know. So let's talk about the weather. Tropical storm Elsa let go a torrential amount of rain in the U.S. East Coast, flooding subway stations and intersections in New York City. Even more impressive, some enterprising citizens used the flooded subways to harvest cranberries, wrappers, and cigarette butts. In keeping with tradition, Bill de Blasio has called upon the city's residents to piss all over the walls to restore the scent of the city. On the other side of the country, the West Coast is suffering a devastating drought. Governor Gavin Newsom has asked that citizens take shorter showers to save water for each precious almond, which each one requires a gallon of water to grow. Remember, everyone, every almond's life is precious. Through the almond eyes of an angel. The water crisis has America's best minds focused on a solution, such as billionaire Elon Musk, who has proposed a giant quote-unquote hypertube that will conceivably take water from the inundated regions like New York and push them all the way to LA. Some critics have pointed out that this was just a quote-unquote pipe. Musk called them names and yelled about Dogecoin. In on-the-nose news, Death Valley reached a high temperature of 130 degrees Fahrenheit this week, or about 54.5 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the valley is being exacerbated by a strangely stationary high-pressure weather system, which has also prevented cooling in the evening. Some in local governments are considering a name change for the place to Hell Valley, although that's being protested by Satan. The United States is winding down operations in Afghanistan, mere months before the conflict was illegally eligible to drink, except, of course, in Afghanistan, where it would never be allowed to drink. Because now there will be less reason to fund the military at such exorbitant levels, some are suggesting that the United States invade Haiti, to be involved in a war in this hemisphere for a change. In lawyer news, Michael Avenatti, former attorney for Stormy Daniels in her suit against the former President of the United States, Donald Trump, was sentenced to 2.5 years for trying to extort Nike. He planned to accuse Nike of paying amateur basketball players unless they paid him. Of course, many Americans feel differently about if we should pay amateur players, so that didn't work out too well. Avenatti mounted an unusual defense. He claimed that the apparel company's slogan, "Just Do It," was itself entrapment. In former president news, former failed presidential candidate Donald Trump was apparently looking to use the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Michael Wolff's new book, Landslide, to postpone the election. Trump rose the possibility twice last summer. I know what you're thinking, that the president doesn't have this power. But it's easier to obtain than permission, a delay that has to be fought through the courts. Also in flailing 45 news, Trump Organization CFO, an indicted man who has never felt but has been explained to the concept of joy, Alan Weisselberg, was terminated from a director position at Trump's Scottish golf course. Apparently the rest of the Trumps were taking precautions against possible flipping of Weisselberg, but some say parasites can sense weakness and took him out as soon as they could. Also in taking precaution news, Toyota has halted donations to Republicans who opposed election certification. Critics say that this is censorship by Toyota and have threatened lawsuits until donations resume. In shocking news, a federal court has ruled that a special needs school in Massachusetts has won the right to use electrical shock therapy in children. Some people have called the therapy, which is frequently used on children who exhibit self-harming behaviors, a life-saving treatment. Others point to the occasional third-degree burns that these devices can cause on children's skin. The FDA had banned the device, but the court found that the FDA had no authority over the device. Some UN reports have called these kind of devices torture. Shocks are administered to developmentally disabled people, and some people strap these kind of things to dogs and call it in-ground fencing. In space news, billionaire owner of Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson, flew into space, and for a short time, the number of billionaires on Earth decreased by 1, increasing the average net worth of everyone on Earth about $1. Did you feel it? The big difference between the Branson flight and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin flight in 9 days is that Branson's vehicle is a 2-stage plane and Bezos' looks like a penis. Either way, we can all acknowledge that as neat as these events are, we could probably have fed some people too. So that's the news at Gen for Monday, July 12th, 2021. Please remember to like and subscribe, hit the Patreon, and follow me on Twitter at GenderBent. I'm working on something. I'm going to be here, if I can. It's still on schedule, but I'm also working on a longer piece about what is humor. So if you have any opinions about what is humor besides what this is, of course, you should put those in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, and that would be great. Thank you. Please remember, I love you.